National Signing Day.
Yeah, James, why don't we start with you? Just get your initial impressions of the class and your thoughts overall.
He's walking in the guy. Give him 1 second.
James, we got you?
I think he might have said he needed 1 second, but
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
when you
All
look
right.
at the class, Florida State signed 17 kids from the state of Florida, 6 from the state of Georgia. So, that's 24 guys, or 23 if I'm doing my math right. Right there, close to the house. It's been one of the bigger critiques on Mike Norvell. People obviously going to count stars and, okay, you're ranked 14th. But just without getting into the specific recruits and everything like we will here in a minute, that was one of the bigger things that stood out to me. 17 kids out of 31. That's another number that stands out with this recruiting class. The most recruits, I think, high school recruits Norvell signed by like a lot. I want to say the most he ever signed was maybe 24 to 26 range. He signed 20 or 31 kids. We talked about it ad nauseum the past month about this being part of the reason you bring him back for one more year, just to kind of round out the core of your program, stack 2 decent high school classes in a row. With all the changes, you changed from a 4-3 to a 3-3-5, and you lost like 14 people out of that front 7 to the portal that just were body types that didn't work or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it'd be nice to get a second year in there and stack these guys up. But yeah, 17 kids from the state of Florida is pretty good. You've got the top 3 guys now on the screen. When you look at it, it's them and kind of everybody else on the commitment list. So yeah, Chauncey Kennan is one. He dropped a little bit in the rankings. There's a little bit of hoopla. I think he lost his 5-star due to one of the, whether it was the rivals of the 247 updates here a couple weeks ago, but big time DB. I mean, he's a stud. He's the kind of guy you're used to Florida State getting year in, year out. Isaiah Williams is one that the dude flipped. I don't even know all the different schools, but he was committed to Florida State at one point in time, was at Ole Miss. Florida State flipped him back. Isaiah Williams is one of those guys, like Chauncey Kennan. You put on the tape, he's a baller. Like anybody would have taken him. You see why people have kind of put up with his wild recruitment, and Florida State stuck in there. Was lucky to be the winner of the musical chairs on that one. He's going to be the best. I don't even know how far back you have to go. He's the most athletic, kind of best prospect of a linebacker you signed in recent memory. So a big time get there. Again, out of Tavares, Florida, another Florida kid. And Jason Lopez, the kid out of Chaminade, Madonna, the wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver. All 3 of these guys, composite 4 stars, by the way, if I hadn't mentioned that. Jason Lopez was one you were really worried about losing to Miami or even other schools, because it's just kind of what was out there in the ether. But yeah, 3 big time guys, to get the stick.
Was it a situation, George, where once this season started to become unraveled, did you notice much unraveling with the recruiting class? Based on the rankings, it didn't seem like much changed, like too many guys left this class in the last couple of months.
No, I think when Mike Norvell came out with that press conference and was talking about winning national championships and stuff, I think he was giving assurances behind the scenes. I think he kind of forced them to come out and, give him, say he's coming back a year earlier, even though Mike Alford said they were going to reevaluate after the season. I think there was some like, look, if we're going to do this thing, we need to get this recruit class together. I think the kids knew probably before the public knew. If I'm being honest, I think Mike was able to say, like, look, I'm going to be back, and say it with his chest because he knew. I don't know that for a fact, but no, you lost a couple kids. I don't know all the names right off the hand, 2 or 3 left, but no, you added 3 or 4 guys today, but 30, again, you don't get 31 by a class falling apart. We didn't get that many surprises today. So it's probably Mike Norvell's best recruiting class to date, if we're being honest. And last year's, while it wasn't, great on paper, they closed real strong. you hit on more D linemen last year than you have in his whole tenure. So I'm taking last year's recruiting class as a success. So yeah, it's of all the reasons of why Mike Norvell's here, money obviously being the biggest one, but the ones we talked about as far as what's going to happen, I think he did his job. He brought in the high school recruiting class. 31 players is a lot of players coming off last year. We'll see what happens going forward, but they definitely did a good job of keeping it together despite what the record is.
We got you, big game.
Yeah. I was just coming in hot off of. I told people they got to come watch here if they want to hear me talk about Florida State. I was like, because I'm not talking. I did my show late because I have a lot of things. I'm be traveling this weekend, and I got some things that I'm starting tomorrow. And I was like, I couldn't do my show this morning. I said, you know what? It's what Wednesdays are for. Got Mark Rogers. Let's just talk about Florida State. Get all your Florida State fix for 1 hour right here. So don't ask me whatever you want to ask me about Florida State. Y'all better come in and tune in to Mark Rogers and ask me right now.
Love it. Well, I'll start with a softball question just about your overall impressions of the class and how it shaped out.
It shapes out about what you would really want for a team that you feel is not as far off as what you would want. You are what your record indicates. But upon looking at it, and again, it's no excuse for any of this, but Virginia, a play away. Stanford should have won anyway, but a play away. North Carolina State, nowhere as bad. Like a lot of the games that you lost that you should have won, you could clearly flip those one-score losses, and you would be in a situation where you would be probably in Charlotte arguing about if you're going to make the college football playoff, because if you win the ACC, as opposed to being in the disarray that the ACC is in now. Mark, were you aware that if Duke wins, that the ACC might not have a representative in the college football playoff again?
I sure am.
That is insane.
That is
if Miami just didn't, if you tell Cam that if they would have just choked, we would be okay. We wouldn't be in this. I'm just messing with you.
Not one group of five gets in ahead of the ACC champion, but two group of five teams.
And they're two pretty good teams. And UNLV has a chance to mess all of this up even more. So like whatever, it's just craziness. I love it. The class, and I've had some people come on my page tonight and said that they were melting down in other FSU chats. If FSU has to play 10 to 20, if FSU has to play 15 freshmen in key roles next year, Florida State's not winning any games. Like Florida State's winning under 5 games. But what you did do is you got some body types that you can develop. You have some key guys that you know can come in and play around that Chauncey Kenny. Like your top guys are top guys. Everybody wanted that young man from Booker. That linebacker was worth the headache. We have another linebacker / safety that we flipped from Gaston County that's a 3-star that was at Arkansas. We've broke down rankings and Whitley on my show live when they committed. Xavier Tiller is going to be a tight end that could come in and contribute. Let's think about the rooms that are actually pretty good at Florida State. You're going to probably hit a quarterback in the portal. Hopefully they get rid of Thomas. I'm going to speak frank about TC. Great kid, just not a good football player. I told people that. But he played better than I thought he was going to play. But it's still just a lot of things left to desire at quarterback. A lot of times missing the middle of the field. A lot of times doing some different things. I talked about his play on Monday. His play against the Gators and even what he said against that, he felt he went out with the bang. Completely selfish. There's no way I want the quarterback having that many touches and that many plays. So get me to Sperry or get me to somebody who I believe that are available that could probably produce with this level of talent that they have. Your running back room is the sky's the limit with Usman and Sam Singleton, and you got a running back that you wanted. That was one of your first commits. That was at South Carolina that you got to flip. Your wide receiver room, if you can get Deuce Robinson to stay, you're really, really good. We have something with LaWayne McCoy. We have something with Boggs. But you got Devlin Carter, and you got the young man from Shaman Abadam that Miami wanted. These are guys that could come in and give you spot reps that could play immediately, but aren't guys that you necessarily have to rely on. But there are guys that can give you a spark to where you could be in the situation where you need to be at 8 to 9 wins. And so your linebacker room has the addition of 2 to 3 linebackers that make it better. Your D-line room is better. Your cornerback room has gotten better. What are we crying about today? That's all I mean. And again, because that's not going to, like, Mike did the thing with high school that we said he can't do. And that's recruit. And he did, for the first time, he's recruited over 30 kids. So there was a pure focus on the high school portal. And now they'll go in and they'll try to find a couple of guys from out of the portal that helps enhance them and then see where it goes. The schedule next year is brutal. You have 5 games that are very difficult. So that means you got to make sure you win the 8 that you're not